What is up, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Why Did I Buy a Mini Truck? As you can see, the truck's looking a little bit different than the last time you saw it. Been busy in the garage the last few days, so I want to go over some of the stuff that we've done and some of the things that we're doing right now. I'm hoping to have this thing fired up by Saturday, and in order to do that, we have quite the list of things we need to get taken care of. First and foremost, we are figuring out a location for where we're going to be mounting our fuel cell. Now, originally I wanted to go ahead and put the fuel cell under the bed. However, I'm thinking now that the best option is going to be to have it somewhere up on the bed. I was originally thinking about maybe even putting it on the very top part of the tunnel, but that would kind of raise the tank up a little bit, and I am hoping to do some kind of cover on the top of our bed, so I'm not 100% sure if that's going to work. So that's something we got to figure out, and if we get that figured out, we can figure out where our fuel lines are going to go, where we're going to mount our fuel pump and filter assembly, and then how we're going to route all of our lines and get that all buttoned up. Speaking of our fuel pump and our fuel filter, we have a Koyo Star, however you pronounce it. This is their pump and their filter combo with a bracket. Really happy with how this came out. I did go ahead already and run our pigtail with our Deutsch pin connector on the other end, so we can go ahead and get that mated up to our factory harness. Now, this is my first time doing anything like this with some AN lines, so I'm very excited to kind of dive in and get some things rolling. So we got a couple kits here from Evil Energy, and we went ahead and picked up some Dash 10 from our fuel tank or fuel cell to our pump. And then from our filter out, we're going to be running a Dash 6. So we also got a Dash 6 kit right here. Now, as far as the return goes, I'm not 100% if I want to do Dash 10 or Dash 6. I think Dash 6 is probably more than enough. But I did get extra Dash 10 just in case. Worst case scenario, we got to order some Dash 6, but that's not a huge deal. We may even have enough already to get it all taken care of. I also went ahead and got our 4x4 Pathfinder fenders bolted up. So these are from an 88. Got them on eBay. They're 4x4 front fender. They're pretty decent. They fit really well. I mean, it's an OEM fender, but with our wheel and tire setup right now, I'm not going to go too crazy into mocking these things up and cutting them just yet for the flares. I really want to wait until our wheel and tire setup is here in order to do that, so the fitment looks really good and we're not just cutting them for the 15s that are in here and then being disappointed when we fit up our 18s. And then finally, probably what you all have been eyeballing, this is the Clinched SL7. So this is a 2.7 millimeter, 2.7 inch flare. Pretty cool. I definitely love how it fits. It does fit really well even with all the stuff that I have cut. And we do have it down a little bit lower here on the bottom. One, it's because we're aired out all the way, but also we're going to be running a skirt along the side. And then with our flare setup in the front, we're going to figure out some cool kind of air diverter thing behind the front wheel. But what I want to do, like I said, is I just have these taped up for now. I figured you guys would all want to see what they look like. They do not look that crazy because we're running 15s, and we are laid frame right now. So you can see that if we're level, we got a pretty good gap. I mean, we're pretty much straight on shot here. Really big gap. So I don't want to lower the flare anymore. And also, I think when we run our 18s, we're actually going to end up bringing our flare up just a hair, because I think that'll fill the well up really well. And also, when we're aired out, I pretty much don't want any of the lower kit to touch, obviously. But I really want to build the kit out for the wheels that we're getting. So for now, I just wanted to tape them up so you guys can see what they look like. And I'll do some kind of cinematic stuff maybe, but this is pretty much what they bolt up really well. Really quality flare. Definitely recommend if you are looking to go this route. Here's kind of a shot of how it's going to look coming off the side here. So like I said, we're going to have a skirt that's going to come out right about here, or we might bring this metal for the bed out so it matches up. And then our skirt will line up pretty much with the base of that and run all along underneath here. But I really do like, I mean, it's pretty flush right now, and these are about how far out our wheels are going to be, maybe even just a hair more, but we're looking for flush all the way around. Hopefully when we do air out, we do get quite a bit of camber in the front. However, when you air up, you know, that camber goes away, so we need to make sure that our flares and everything and our fender is going to clear our wheel and tire setup, airing up and airing out. Nothing too much going on inside here. I did pull the seat brackets and the dash back out. I went ahead and routed our driver's side air duct because it does go underneath the column, and then we got all of our wiring tucked up under here. And then in here we haven't done a whole lot. I put some various firewall block offs back on, got our throttle cable and our speedo cable done, and our exhaust is bolted up, which is really great. You can actually see that our mid pipe is there. Unfortunately, it does not clear, so if you have a bagged hard body and you lay frame, you might be able to make it work. I unfortunately was not able to. I got it tucked up pretty close everywhere, and I still had about 1.5 inches of exhaust that was gonna hit before the frame did. I was considering welding some kind of frame spacer, but then I was like, that's pretty whack because I'm trying to get as low as possible, so I don't want to do that. So we're just gonna rebuild it. We are gonna go 2¼ inch, and we're just gonna rebuild the whole thing. I already got another resonator coming and another muffler. We're gonna run it out back to here. At least we can use that one kind of as like a template. We're still gonna go V-band, but if anybody's looking for a 3-inch exhaust from your headers back, let me know. It's all V-band up and ready to go. So back here, nothing too crazy still. We did do all of our brake lines, we drove our wheel spacers in, all of our drum brakes are done. So really what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend the time tonight and probably a little bit tomorrow going through and figuring out where the fuel cell is going to land, figure out where our fuel pump and filter assembly are going to go, and then hopefully get all of our lines run. And then by Saturday, I'm hoping to have gone and picked up all of our fluids. We're going to put some new engine oil in here. We're just going to go with a 1030. We're going to fire it up. We're going to let it run for a little bit. Then we're going to drain it all out. Probably going to put maybe like 100 miles on it before we change our oil again. But you know, since we did do some work inside of here, I want to make sure that when we drain our oil, everything looks good. We do need to get some gear oil as well as some coolant. I'm thinking about just running some water for now, since we are going to be draining the cooling system, taking the radiator out, and everything when we go to spray the rest of the truck, because we're going to be spraying our front core support. That's pretty much it. I mean, we do got to get some gear oil for the rear diff, and we also need to make a vent for it, but that's kind of like little small stuff that we can get to pretty much whenever. So guys, that is the update for now. It is a shorter video than usual, but I do appreciate everybody watching. I hope that you guys are kind of enjoying the direction that the truck is going. These rear fender flares definitely give off some R34 vibes. Kind of looks like the Pandem wide body or Rocket Bunny wide body for it, but I really like how this looks. I think it's going to be perfect for our truck, especially when we go ahead and get our skirts laid in here. And then we got to figure out a front. So I am going to scrap our front flares that we got. The front flares we have are 3-inch. We are not going to need them, especially with the 4x4 front fender. So we are just going to kind of figure out what we're going to need to do here. Maybe we'll weld in a metal flare, or we might end up just going with a different smaller front flare, like maybe a 1.5 inch or a 2-inch. But like I said, I need to wait for the wheel and tire setup to show up before we do any of this fitting, before we start drilling any holes or doing any more cutting. I definitely don't want to go buy another bed, so I think it's better just to wait, even though I am very anxious to get them on the truck. So I hope you guys have a great week. I hope you guys had an awesome weekend. Get out there, get those projects rolling, and until the next one, peace.